Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the fourth world mission, and this completes the Solomon Islands part of the missions. And today we'll be using Kaiser, mainly for her secondary battery, but also for her main guns as well. German battleships have really good high explosive shell penetration values. They might not have the greatest fire chance, that's something that British battlecruisers have. But in terms of HE piercing, we have 76 millimeters of piercing, as you can see here. That's a lot better than any other ship at this tier, and that is actually something you find quite common for all German battleships among any kind of tier. They always have really good HE piercing. So that's good against targets that might have a little bit more armor that would normally shatter high explosive. If you have German battleship, you just go right through it anyway. So let's hop right in. So Solomon Islands, it's 1-4, Cologne-Bangalore. This is still not going to be that hard at all. You at least see a light cruiser in this mission. I guess there's an animation too, so let's take a look to see what this is. Alright, and we are already in the game. The game's already started. That is the main problem, I guess you could say, with watching the little clip, is that by the time you're actually in the game, almost half a minute has already gone by. But I mean, it's nice to see those once in a while. Alright, so we're not a fast battleship, but we do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so maybe we can get up to our speed a little bit quicker than normal. The layout of the main guns on Kaiser is not the best either, so we're going to wait until we get a little bit closer to actually start opening up on targets. And we have an Independence, a Brooklyn, a Leander, it says Leander, but that's actually a St. Louis. And then some Fletchers, some Bensons, and Mahan, a couple Mahans. And we're going up against a Sendai, and looks like some Kageros and Mitskis. Nothing that I would say is too difficult for any tier 3 or tier 4 ship. However, if you are going to be using a destroyer, I would say that you will have a much harder time considering the number of targets. And we're going to switch over to high explosive. All my German battleships are secondary focused as much as possible. So at this low tier, I can't equip the secondary module, but I do have the secondary crew skill. So hopefully we'll be able to get those into action as well. Here is the Sendai. So let's see if we can get any hits on her. One hit, not a lot of damage. Maybe taking something a little bit faster so they can actually catch the ships that we're trying to sink will be better. So maybe cruisers are going to be the best way to take out these first missions, unless you just use higher tier ships that are faster. That's still a choice, obviously. But if we're just using tier 3 and tier 4, then yeah, try and find something that's a little bit more quicker than a Kaiser. Alright, so let's see if we can get some long range shots. Kaiser is definitely not a top score in the accuracy department, but at least we were able to get one hit. Alright, looks like this destroyer is aground. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. Launch a couple shells her way. We're going to try and cut off the ships that are heading south. That way we can actually do some damage, because we've really done nothing so far. Right, so let's see what we can do against this destroyer. Absolutely nothing. The accuracy on I forgot how bad the accuracy was on this ship. I thought this would be a walk in the park, but we're just using our secondaries. But if we can't actually get to the ships, then it doesn't make much of a difference. Alright, so this might be a pretty decent salvo. Alright, well, 3 hits out of 8. Again, not the best, but we did take out one of the guns. Though the guns aren't the ones that actually cause me any concern. It's the torpedoes that she has. Which we just actually took out a pair. That's nice. Alright, now we are in secondary range. So we have armor piercing and high explosive secondaries. Obviously, the high explosive ones will do the most damage in regards to destroyers, but armor piercing overpens will definitely still do their fair share of damage. And now we're close enough that we can actually start doing some decent damage. Though with the secondaries on German battleships, they always aim for the superstructure. So for destroyers like Mutskis, which are really low to the water and don't have much superstructure, it's actually quite hard to hit them. And obviously you don't get hydroacoustic search until Bismarck for German battleships, so I can't exactly see them in their smoke screens right now either. But we're doing a little bit of damage here and there. And I think our guns are doing quite a bit, even if we're missing over half of our shots. Alright, so we only have a few destroyers left. Make that one less. Make that 2 less. And now we gotta wait half a month before our guns rotate as we try and dodge some torpedoes. There we go. Not too worried about this destroyer, honestly. But Mitskis do have some pretty damaging torpedoes. I would not be able to take more than 6 of those, I think, because that's all she can fire at once. And there we go, we finish up taking on these destroyers. So pretty slow start, but the ending was pretty good. So let's see how we did. 42,500 damage. Not very big damage numbers at these very beginning world missions. 4 ships sunk, 28 shell hits, 6 fires, 1 module destroyed, and 31 secondary hits. So main guns with high explosive did about 31,000 damage. That one armor piercing salvo we did less than 1,000. Fires did about 2,500 damage, and secondary battery did 7,000 damage. So your main guns actually did a lot more than the secondary battery, but I mean, the secondary battery did set a ton of fires as well. So all in all, Kaiser's not my top pick, obviously, for this mission. I mean, anything high tier and above is going to absolutely just crush everything. But if you're starting these missions with lower tier ships, then, I mean, Kaiser's not a bad one. If I were to recommend another battleship between 3 and 4, like I said, you kind of want something that's fast. So maybe Queen Mary, actually. Queen Mary would not be terrible. She has the speed. She doesn't have the firepower of a Kaiser, but she does have speed. And then maybe a Ganga as well. She's not the slowest, but she's not the fastest. But your main guns are pretty decent, and your secondaries are better equipped to deal with destroyers, since they don't aim for the superstructure, they aim for the hull itself. Which on anything above a heavy cruiser would just shatter, but on destroyers it is very effective. So for battleships, I would recommend those. Obviously, any cruiser pretty much would work. Destroyers, you might struggle with the number of targets, and then carriers, depends on how you use them and how good you are. If you're good at taking on destroyers with carriers, go for it. I'm not, so I will never use carriers in these missions, except for secondary brawls. But yeah, I mean, whatever you think is best, go for it and try it. You can try these missions as many times as you want, honestly. And with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And tomorrow we'll be starting the missions for Guadalcanal. So we'll start with Tasafaranga. So again, thank you and take care.